Hello, welcome to Perisson Encounters. I'm 𝐿𝐶𝐫𝐤𝐬, and today we'll be dealing with the subject of financial literacy. I told us that one of the things we'll be really considering in this broadcast is the issue of finance, because after God is money. One of the things that affect the fate of people so much is money, the availability of money, the ability to meet their needs, the ability to get things done around them is a very important determinant in how effective and how easy our life becomes. So today I'll be sharing with us on the subject of financial literacy. So what is financial literacy? Financial literacy is the ability to understand and to effectively utilize financial skills. So some of these basic skills include personal financial management, budgeting, savings, taxation, all of these kind of things. So even including borrowing and investing, some of these things are the components of financial literacy. Now, why am I bringing this to us? Financial literacy is so important. It is as important as reading and writing. A lot of people don't know. Do you know that for you to meaningfully integrate into society and be able to live well, you need financial literacy? There's a lot of emphasis on how to read and how to write. But being able to read and write, as fundamental as that is, financial literacy is just as important. But there's a disproportionate emphasis on financial literacy. So the average adult doesn't even have any financial literacy, just a complete financial illiterate. Just imagine how incapacitated someone becomes when they are unable to read and unable to write. They go to places, they can't tell signs, they can't get any kind of instruction. Imagine what life would be if you cannot read and you cannot write. That's how difficult it is when you don't have financial literacy. Or you're in a place where people are speaking a different language that you don't understand. How clumsy and how confused you can be. That is exactly how a lot of people are living. They lack the basic concept of financial literacy. And that's what this video is going to achieve today. So financial literacy is that branch of knowledge that helps you to understand and effectively utilize financial skills. It is concerned with how to make, how to manage, and how to multiply money. And I told you earlier there are concepts like savings, personal finance, investment, budgeting, financial management, taxation. These are things that you need to know. In fact, there's what we call financial language. You should be able to speak the language of finance. For example, someone say, I want to get a facility. So people don't know what a facility is. That's what we call the language of money. When you say ROI, that's a language of money. When you say something like a break even, these are languages of money. So financial literacy means you understand how these things work. You know how money works. So this is what we're going to be discussing today in brief. And I hope that it won't take us so long. So look at some questions I want to ask you. These questions, they indicate the level of your financial literacy. Number one, do you have a personal bank account? How many bank accounts do you have? And what are the uses of these bank accounts? People just open bank accounts, but they don't really know, okay, what is this bank account for? Why do I need an extra bank account? I remember when we were doing NYC, we were forced to open an account. So it's okay. Or you get a new job and you say, oh, the job pays with this account, and then you're forced to open that account. So people don't really know, okay, why should I have a bank account? What do I do with a bank account? This is financial literacy. And we'll talk a little about that. Another one is, do you know how much you earn? A lot of people know their salary, but they don't know how much really comes into their life. They cannot really document how much passed through my hand this month. They can't tell you for sure what that figure is. So financial literacy teaches you the importance of keeping track of every income that you get. Okay, then again, what I'll just do, there are 20 things I want to talk about here. So instead of reading through them and coming back again, I'll just take them one after the other and be as fast as I can. So let me go back to the function of bank accounts. Now, every individual should have at least 3 bank accounts, and they are not meant to achieve the same purpose. So bank account is not just for storing money. Okay. So when you talk about financial management, personal financial management, and budgeting, you see that one of the core use of an account is to receive money. So you have the account where you use to receive money. So this is where money comes into for you, your income account. Then you have another account where you use for your savings. So savings is one of the paramount things you need to do. The first step to financial freedom is learning how to save. You can't spend all the money that comes. So there's one account that is for savings. And then, or we'll call it emergency fund. It depends. You can have to put 4 or 5, but know that every account you have is serving a purpose. Then there's an account for investment. There's an account for investment or for business, where you use for business. You have account for emergency funds. You have account for all kinds of things. But these are the 3 basics. So you have investment, you have emergency funds, you have income account. So you know that, okay, you can also use your income account as your expenditure account. So for example, you can say, okay, my expenses is from account A. So if I want to know whether I have money or I don't have money, I check this account. I don't check this account, I don't check this other account, because those accounts are designated. So we have what's called designated funds. So you know that, okay, account B, that account is my savings account. So when you ask me I need money, you know that you can look at account B, and then you have another account number. See, I believe that one is clear. So basically involves knowing your bank accounts and the functions of each of these bank accounts. Then knowing your income, how much really comes to you. You know, as a Christian, you tithe. Tithing is one of the most powerful ways to track your income. So everything that comes to you, you pay 10 of it. So that way you can tell. So by just calculating your tithe, because sometimes it can be really difficult to know how much, somebody just blesses you with money here and there, you buy something with it and then it's gone. But if you're tithing, you can easily say, okay, if my tithe for this month is 10,000 naira, that means all the money I got this month is 100,000 naira. Very beautiful way. So that's one amazing thing about it. So you need to know your income, how much flows into you. There are so many persons that are constantly broke, but if you print out their account statement, you realize that up to, I think I've experienced it, let me not even talk about anybody far. Sometimes I just realize that, I don't have money, but then I check my account statement and I found out that, oh, this amount of money has passed through my account, and I wonder, where did the money go? When you do not keep track of the income you receive, you cannot maximize the resources. For you to even start being financially free, you must know totally how much, exactly how much, not about so and so. No, you must know it to the last kobo. Okay, financial literacy is about numbers. You know your numbers. You know that I make 10,552 naira 30 kobo. You know it. So you know it to the latter. So you know your income. That's the next step. Number 3 is, do you know how much you spend? Do you keep track of how much you spend? And do you know where your money is going? So, you know why this is very important? Because when we talk about financial management, this knowledge comes in handy. So let's say I receive 500,000 naira every month or 100,000 naira every month in this example. And I know that, okay, I save 10% or 20% of my income. Then the remaining 80% that I'm spending, where does the money go? You see a lot of people, they claim that they're under spiritual attack, that I don't know where my money is going, because they don't take time to keep track of it. I remember when I was first taught to keep track your expenses, document your expenses. So when you document your expenses, you'll be able to discover your financial habits, and then you will know whether your expenses are going into liabilities, they are going into assets, or they are going into investment. You know where your money is going. You will discover that I spend some amount of money on data. How can I spend 15,000 or 30,000 naira on data out of a salary of 100,000, and after my saving just 70,000 or 80,000 naira? How can I spend the whole of that amount? And not that I'm using the data for business, just to go online. So when I want to cut down my expenses, I know that, okay, data, I'm overspending here, or calls, I'm overspending there, or trips, transportation, I'm using up to 40,000 for transport. Where am I going? Maybe you want to see a friend. So you begin to know where to manage yourself from. So financial management starts with being able to track your expenses. So you must keep a track. There are apps like Spend Tracker. If you just go on Google Play Store, just type a financial tracker, anything, you see a lot of applications you can use. They will help you organize your expenses. So every time you spend, you're on the road, you just buy something, you just dash someone money, you just do something, you document it quickly, so that you will know by the end of the week or the day, you go and look at what you spent, and then you can know whether you are spending wisely or you're spending foolishly. So this is one of the requirements for financial literacy. Okay, another question I want to ask you is, Okay, do you know how to increase your income? Do you know what to do to, let's say you want to double your income, do you know what to do to make that happen? You want to increase your income by 30% or by 50%, do you know precisely what to do to increase your income? That is an indicator of your level of financial literacy. And I tell you, this is very basic to living in society, because you can just say that, oh, they removed fuel subsidy, or they did this, and expenses have jumped up, rent increased, something just increased. Do you know what to do to respond to that change that came to you? Do you know where to go and cut? So what you do is that you increase your expenses, you increase your income, you cut your expenses. So do you know where to go and cut your expenses? So if you are tracking your expenses, you know where to cut your expenses. Then if you know how to generate income, you know, okay, what to do. Okay, let me just do this idea and keep it pending. Maybe you have a list of ideas, just pull it out and say, okay, this one give me additional 10%, additional 20%, additional 50% of what I'm earning monthly. So this is financial literacy. We'll go into all these things in great details later. Okay, there's another one here. Do you know how much you need to achieve financial freedom? I think in the very first video I made on this Friday series, I talked about it. How much you need to achieve financial freedom? Financial freedom means that the amount of money you have in your investment that will enable you to be able to maintain your current lifestyle without working. So let's say you are spending 320,000 every month. So basically, let me tell you how to do this. There's a video that I will get all these things done. I just want to make sure that we have enough detail in this video. So now you know that, okay, I spend, my rent is 1 million every year. My health, what I use for health, my children, everything, so and so amount. School fees is so amount. So you just basically look at my costs, my transport, fuel, everything. So everything, if you want to do this, every expense that you make, document it for the year. Then when you know how much you spend in a year, you divide it into 12 months. That tells you how much you need to maintain your lifestyle in a month. Now, the question now becomes, how much do I need to have saved? Rather, how much do I need to have invested that will give me a return on investment that will be equal to the amount that I need? So let's say, for example, my expenses a year is 120,000 I spend a year. That means I spend 10,000 every month. And that means I need to have an investment. So if I have a secure investment that pays me 3%, that pays me 5% a year, for example, or let me just use 10% a year, for example, that means I need an investment that pays me 120,000 naira a year. So, and it's 10%. That means 10% of 120,000. That means I need to invest for 1.2 million. So if I have 1.2 million invested, in a year I'll have 120,000, and I can spend that every year and maintain my lifestyle. So that's what it means. Do you know how much you need to achieve financial freedom? So if I'm going to work, I'm not just going to work. I'm going to work with the mindset that I want to make 1.2 million that I can invest in so and so place, so that I can get 10% every year and achieve my lifestyle without having to work. So we're telling you, retire, you don't need to work. Okay, let me ask you a question. If something happens and you're unable to work today, how long will you stay before you get completely broke? These are questions that borders around financial intelligence and financial literacy. So how long will I live? So let's say I have 600,000 saved up in my account, and I spend 100,000 every month. That means I can only live for 6 months before I get into a dangerous financial crisis. So this knowledge helps you to make decisions. So when you are working, do I need a second job? Do I need a side hustle? You may not be motivated if you don't have the figures right. You need to work based on facts, not assumption. You know, when people of faith like us get into a lot of assumption and presumption, just assume God is in control, God is in control. The God you are saying is in control is a planner. He organizes himself. So this is why we need the idea of financial literacy. It's as important as reading and writing. If not, life can be very, very difficult. Another one is, I won't go into great details in the remaining maybe 15 I'm going to share with you. So do you know how much you need to save? Okay, you know, you don't just say, okay, I want to save 10,000 naira. No, what kind of emergency do you have? Someone who doesn't have children and someone who have children, there's a difference. So do you know how much you need to save, okay, for possible emergencies? Do you know how much you need to invest, like I talked about earlier? Do you know how to raise capital? So let's say you want to start a new project, you want to start a new business, do you know how to raise capital? So this knowledge of how to raise capital is part of your financial literacy. Okay, then, okay, next, do you know how to plan a personal budget or household budget? Budget for your business, budget for a project, because budgeting is one of the core skills in financial literacy, financial intelligence and financial literacy. This is very important. You must know how to budget, how to allocate your scarce resources, because see, there's a concept in economics that says that human beings have insatiable needs. Our needs are insatiable. There's no amount of money you have that will be enough to do every idea that will come into your mind. So budgeting is very key, knowing how to drive resources in the right direction and putting them to optimum use. The next one is, do you know how to reconcile your income statement? Okay, how much you are earning, how much your expenses are. Do you know how to know what the balance should be? What is the optimum amount of money to save? Now, you may be receiving an income. It's not all about just discipline and forcing yourself. So if you're earning 100,000 and you're trying to force yourself, say I'm disciplined, I want to save 50,000 every month, it's going to hurt your lifestyle. It's going to hurt your ability to meet important needs. You're going to be wicked to some people in your life. You're going to be unavailable to some important needs. So it's not just I've made up my mind to do this. No, while that discipline is important, there's a reconciliation of income statement which will now tell you, oh, maybe I need to cut somewhere or increase my income some other place. Alright, so the next one is, do you have a housing plan? So I'm assuming you're a young person, you don't own a house, you're paying rent. Do you have a housing plan? Because we're talking about financial freedom. Okay, to be financially free, you must own a home. You can't be paying rent and be financially free. So, do you have a housing plan? Do you have a retirement plan? A lot of persons don't think about retirement. So, when you talk about, as you're thinking about financial freedom, retirement is one of the things on your mind. Then, do you have a brilliant team of financial advisors? See, money is a team sport. Life is a team activity, it's not a solo activity. In school, you are rewarded for how much you can work independently and get the best result. You are rewarded for your competitive ability. But in life rewards you for your collaborative ability. So there are some people you need in your life. For example, you need a legal advisor in your life, you need an accountant in your life, you need a tax attorney, you need all these people who are into taxation, people who are authorities in the area of legal matters, people who are into all these things. There's a level your finances will get to, you cannot manage it alone. You need all these people. So do you know these people that you need? Your interest in this subject and how much you acquire knowledge will tell you what exactly you need. Another one is, do you know the different kinds of income? For example, we just say income. There are up to 9 different kinds of income. Okay, so do you know? Okay, there are 3 classes of income. Then there are 7 to 9 individual kinds of. For example, we have what is called portfolio income. We have earned income. We have dividend. Those are different kinds of income. So, do you know the different kinds of income and how to achieve them? There's what we call royalties. There's what we call rental income. There's what we call profit. There's what we call gain. All these are different kinds of income. So, do you know the different kinds of income and how to achieve them? Part of the financial literacy. Now, do you have a personal financial development plan? A plan that will help you that will increase your net worth. Do you have a plan for this? Because the way you increase financially is for you to increase as a person. The more valuable you are as a person, the more value you attract, the more wealth you attract. For example, if you are very good at cleaning, you may be worth a certain amount of money every month at the place you work. Then if you are able to use a particular machine, you know how to operate a particular machine, you have technical skills, it increases your value in that place. So the more you invest in yourself, the more resources you can attract. That's just an example. So do you have a plan of how you can increase yourself to get more? Or your only plan for increase is prayer? Is prayer your only strategy? Do you have other strategies on how you can increase your net worth, you increase your value so that your net worth will also increase accordingly? The more competent you are, the more resources come to you. Alright, another one is, do you have a will? A lot of people, especially in our part of the world, in Africa, will is like, you are wishing them dead. You see a man of 70 doesn't have a will. Say, no, I'm not ready to die now. So, do you have a will? Do you think the will is important? You know, when you start, there's something Stephen Covey said, he said, begin with the end in mind. Whenever you start beginning with the end in mind, every step you take becomes strategic and meaningful. So you may not even have so much yet, but if you have an idea of what your will will look like, it will also guide your efforts and your activities. So do you have a will? Another question is, do you know the different kinds of investments? They are just like we have different kinds of income, there are different kinds of investments. The investment in the capital markets, there are different kinds of investment: secure investment, high risk investment, medium risk investment. So when you're planning your financial freedom, what kind of investment do you want to do? Do you want to invest in the money market? Do you want to invest in businesses? There's video dedicated to this. I'm avoiding going into too much details on this. Then I'll give you two more and then we'll be done with this video. Do you know how to start a business? Do you know how to start and run a business? Okay, so let's say the economy becomes really critical, the salary is not able to meet up. We have an option of looking for a better job, you have an option of doing a business. So do you know how to do this? And then lastly, number 20, do you know how to sell? Do you know how to negotiate? Do you know how to persuade? So do you have bargaining power? Because this is very helpful. It will help you in being able to generate capital for your business. It will help you in being able to get the highest price for your goods and services. All these are skills. Do you know how to do persuasive speaking? So these are 7 skills. This is not all. There's so many other things you need to know. But what I want you to know today from this video is that financial literacy is as important as reading and writing. You need it to be able to survive. You need it to be able to thrive in the society we live in. Thank you so much for listening to this video. I would love to get questions from you, comments, contributions, whatever I think is missing, but there's lots more to come. So thank you. Please do well to like, share and comment if you got value from this video. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful time. See you next week.